This is a Renault 14.
The Renault 14, it's like a pear.
Sometimes it takes very little, a small grain of sand, to turn a promising project into a failure. And in this little game, it must be admitted, the Renault 14 really had no luck. Modern, pretty, inspiring a style, it will be relatively snubbed by customers. Certainly nearly 1 million copies will be sold, but still half as many as hoped. Here is its story. Hello everyone and welcome to our Carjäger channel. So first of all, before talking about our national Pear that is the Renault 14, I just wanted to go back to one little thing. Because you have been very numerous again to comment on our new decor. So I assure you, it will change again. Yes, once again, I'm teasing, but once again, the decor will change, especially the green background behind me. Already here, we've changed the layout of the decor a bit, you may have noticed. So, in short, don't worry. I know that many of you missed the old decor, but at least this one is real and it will soon evolve. And if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, don't hesitate to do so right now. On May 25, 1976, Renault presents with great fanfare to the press its new medium-sized sedan, the 14 at Les Invalides. The surprise is total as the design signed by Robert Breuer seems innovative, especially in this very psychedelic orange color. This Renault 14 comes to fit into the range between the brilliant Renault 5, which is a hit, and the very classic Renault 12, soon to be replaced by the Renault 18. And it is nothing less than the first compact with a diamond, and the firm has therefore spared no expense to enter the era of modernity. Modern and iconoclastic design, probably too ahead of its time. Interior space inspired by the Renault 16, modern engine too, but we'll talk about it again. Use of computer-aided design, robotization of manufacturing, everything seems to be gathered to conquer a large market with a target of 2 million copies. Yes, but as often happens, not everything goes as planned. Because to design a modern car precisely, Renault will take advantage of the agreement signed with Peugeot for the creation of common engines and for the sharing of multiple organs. Abandoning the aging Cléon-Fonte, Renault will set its sights on the 10 engine inaugurated on the Peugeot 104 and produced by the Française de Mécanique, a 50-50 subsidiary with Peugeot that also produces the famous 5.6 Peugeot Renault 5 Olvo. But while no one is crying foul about sharing this 5.6 Peugeot Renault 5 Olvo with Lyon, but also with 5 Olvo, it will not be the same with the 10 engine, considered a 100% Peugeot engine. It's already been 4 years that the 104 has been using this 10 engine, and it's probably a bit because of that. This inline 4-cylinder engine is placed in a transverse position, which is also a first for Renault, and it develops 57 horsepower with 1,218 cubic centimeters, which is considered too small for the size of the car. And yet the Renault 14 only weighs 865 kilos. And even worse in the eyes of purists, the Renault 14, to fully benefit from the agreement signed with Peugeot and to make the resulting savings, it will recover the front axle of the Peugeot 104 as well as its pedal set. And quickly, it will be considered an intruder within the Renault range, and even worse, some will even think or believe that the Renault 14 used the entire chassis of the 104. However, it is indeed the rear axle of the Renault 5 that we find on the Renault 14. So if the criticisms are raining down on our poor little 14, it's a bit of bad faith because it turns out to be an excellent car. Yes, I assure you. Destined for success, it nevertheless dangerously approaches total failure shortly after its release in June 1976. So sure, sales are not catastrophic, but competitors of the time like the Simca Horizon or the Citroën GS are still doing much better than the 14. And this last one struggles to convince customers and even the sellers themselves. And to relaunch the model's career, Renault is going to have a brilliant idea to call on publishers, because nothing like a good little advertisement, as they said at the time, even though I wasn't born, to boost the sales of a model. And the advertising creatives will therefore work on the subject and notice that the Renault 14 looked like a pear. No doubt helped by numerous firecrackers, among other things, they will give birth to an astonishing campaign that remains today a case study of what not to do in advertising. Because by wanting to play the fruity analogy to suggest the interior volume and the round and sensual lines of the Renault 14, they will obscure the double meaning of the word pear. Because in commerce, as elsewhere, nobody likes to be taken for a pear. So let's not exaggerate the harmful effects of this famous advertising campaign, but it must be acknowledged that it will never achieve the main objective, to boost sales. A stab in the water, so to speak. More pragmatically, Renault will evolve its model in 1979 to try to convince this clientele who are still not flocking to the gate. Thus, 2 levels of finish are added, GTL and TS, and the latter receives a more powerful 10 engine, pushed to 69 horsepower. And finally, the Renault 14 seems to have enough power for its size. But we need to go a little further. In 1980, a light restyling gives it a bit more pep, while the TS swaps its 1,218 cubic centimeters for a 1,360 cubic centimeters of 70 horses, but more torquey. And despite these small improvements, sales are still stagnant. And the Renault 14 still carries this image of a dated car. And even still now. And even internally at Renault, they no longer believe in the product at all. And the designers, engineers are therefore going to focus on creating a model to replace the Renault 14. And they are going to create 2. The amazing Renault 9 and Renault 11 of extreme classicism finally coming out in addition to the old Cléon Fonte. The experience of the 10 engine and the Renault 14 ends in 1983 after 999,093 copies. Even the symbolic million will not have been reached. And if for many the Renault 14 still retains this image of a tacky car, it's rather unfair. And we are rediscovering its qualities today. Firstly, it must be acknowledged that the style it introduced in the 70s would find success in the 90s, with the Peugeot 306 in particular. But even already in the 80s, the Peugeot 205 borrowed some gimmicks and curves from the Renault 14, showing that sometimes success hangs by a thread. A little pencil stroke here, a little pencil stroke there, and the magic happens. Coming back to the Renault 14, not enough Renault or maybe too much Peugeot, it could never compete fairly in the market, nor demonstrate its qualities to the majority. Unfortunately, to enjoy it today, you have to go hunting. As the beautiful models are becoming rare after years of mistreatment, scrapping premiums or rust, count around 7,000 euros for a model in excellent condition. Thank you for following us. Don't forget to subscribe and visit our site carjager.com if you are looking for a classic car or if you are selling one. See you soon.